Hello, everybody. Welcome to day two of Breakfast Proof Your Life. If you are here, you can hear and see me, and you are excited, please let me know in the comment section. I'm also very excited. So let's bring yesterday's energy and let's get the show rolling. If you're listening to me, you can hear me, you can see me. Tell me that you can hear me and you can see me in the comments. Tell me name, where you're listening from, and share this with someone. Someone needs to know that we are live. Share it with someone. I'm waiting. I cannot see any comments. I can't see any comments. Okay. Name, where you're tuning in from. Name, where you're tuning in from. Where you can hear me from. And just share this with somebody. Tell somebody that we are live for day two. And this is where we talk about our attraction compass. Precious, Kingsley Precious from Benin. Hi, Precious. It's nice to meet you. It's so good to meet you. As we are joining in, let's tell. Thank you very much for feedback. Thank you, Precious. As you're joining in, oh, Maurice is around. Hi, Maurice. It's good to meet you. Hi, Maurice. Have you told somebody that we are live? Have you gone to um? Have you Have you have you showed your excitement? Have you told somebody that you know what you're like? You need to be somewhere here. You need to be somewhere today. Tell somebody. I just had to share on my own. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about your attraction compass, and I want us to dive right into it so that we have minimal spillover of our time. If we are all set and ready, we can go straight right into it. Of course, you know who I am, so we will save the introduction for another time. Today, we are going to be talking about what it means to breakfast proof your life. And by breakfast proofing your life, I want to teach you how to hack the attraction, the normal scientific process of attraction that lands a lot of people in hurtful relationships and situationships. So that's what we are going to be talking about. And I'll be showing you a very fail proof attraction compass that will really help you do attract better relationships. Okay, guys. So if you're excited, please let me know. I don't like the fact that we are so quiet today. This was not the plan. Anyway, before we go on, I want to share two stories with you. Two seeming relationship gists. So the first one came as a question from someone who registered for this event. If she's not here, I hope she sees this video live. So she was sharing a question where she said, "Oh, that she was in a really bad place in her life," and I'm trying to paraphrase. She was in a really bad place in her life, and in that season, she met a guy who was there for her and everything, and then she liked him, or at least she thought she did like him at the time. And then whatever happened, they were together. And along the line, she started to feel like this guy was not her spec. And you ask why? She answered. She said that this guy was always agreeable to her. It was like somebody that is whatever she says that works, and it's like she said, and she's an action lady. She's the kind of person that she's very out there, outspoken and all that. And this guy just deflecting to her at every time. And in her words, she said that a guy shaking before her was a big turn off. And then she later realized that she was not attracted to this guy. And so she said she had to respectfully tell him that she had to respectfully tell him that she was not physically attracted to him, and then ended the relationship. And he said that she is a wicked person. That's what he said. And so she wanted to ask, Was she really being wicked? What she did, is it really something that was wicked? So that is our case study number one. We are going to talk about why that process of falling in love was a trap and why the things ended the way it ended. But also, before I continue, hi Ugochi, it's good to see you. Welcome. I want to tell you, I want to show you another real life experience. This one I came across it today. I'm going to read that one straight from, because I screenshotted it. I want to show us that many of us, we have a mindset that needs to be re-engineered before we can attract better relationship. So I saw this on Quora, and it goes, do happily married husbands cheat? Somebody came on Quora and asked, do happily married husbands cheat? And somebody replied, as a matter of fact, yes, they do. I knew one personally. So this person is saying that, oh, he or she knew one personally. He had an arranged marriage a few years back and was in love with his wife so much that we girls used to dream of having a man like him as our husband. The wife adored him too. But slowly, the marriage started drifting apart and they planned a child to make things better. And as she was pregnant, well, he cheated. He fell in love with another woman, but she turned him down after a few days because she felt guilty. And they are still together, living a happy life along with their child. So, a happy marriage is not always happy as it seems, and people cheat regardless of the love they receive in their relationship. What do we have to say about this? I feel like we should take a pause and let me hear our thoughts. If you heard this, what are you going to be thinking? What's going to be in your mind? You are going to be, oh, somebody should please, I need our comments. If you heard me, if you were here when I started reading this story, just tell me what you think. Tell me what you're thinking. As you are reading this thing, is everywhere just getting blood in your eyes? Like, what's going on? Please, I need our comments so that I know that we are here. Okay. While I'm waiting for us to just, share our thoughts on these things, I brought these case studies together because I have realized that many, many, many people think that we are helpless. They think that this person is saying that happy marriages, people still cheat in happy marriages, regardless of the love that they receive. And this person is trying to portray a point of view that makes it feel like you are helpless to curate a healthy or a steady relationship, because he or she is trying to say now that you can be in that marriage that everything is so good and this person will still cheat on you. And we are here to talk about why these kind of things happen and what you can do to position yourself for a better relationship. Don't worry, we'll come back to those stories after we finish today's conversation. So now we are going to be talking about a few things. And like I said, the first thing that is super important today, I'll be talking to you guys from my phone because I had a few issues with my slides, so I could not display the slides for you guys. So you just have to follow me. So the first thing is that Lola, in quote, our first case study was in a dark place and needed a sort of a lifeline. And she mistook that neediness for someone, for love, right? She needed some form of companionship. And she felt that, oh, this person was there and was present. And then she liked the person. Maybe that guy really, really, really was interested in her, but that situation where she found herself made it harder for her to see certain qualities that this guy already possessed that she probably would not be okay with in the long run. And the thing about feelings, somebody asked the question yesterday, is that why do feelings fade? The thing about feelings is that they are very temporary. If you give it 1 year, you would need to now start to intentionally engineer your feelings, and that's why commitment is super important. And so feelings will fade at all times, but you can learn how to revive the spark. I have a video on my page where I said retaining the spark in your relationship. That's something that you need to learn. But this lady had already gone far into that relationship, or she had already gotten attached to this guy before she started to realize that he possessed certain traits that she was not comfortable with on a norms. She said she's an action lady, and a guy that's shaking before her, or a guy that's always defecting to her, maybe always doing the things that she wants. she does not find him attractive. And people would say, I can hear people's voices in my head saying, what do women really want? How many of us can relate? They'll say, what do women really want? And you hear people go on and on saying things, lousy things about women, because they just do not understand that this is how things work. If she had paid attention to the kind of person he was and the kind of person she was, she would have realized that there was a masculine feminine dynamic that was not right from the get-go, and she would be able to fix it, you know, or decide that, okay, can we fix this at the beginning? And she will not be neck deep into a relationship and now feeling guilty because she's breaking up with someone that she probably should not have been with in the first place. So one of the things that we need to understand is that we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. You cannot be the person who is falling in love at first sight. You can like somebody at first sight, but you cannot be the person who is falling in love at first sight, because first sight is a lot of things. First sight is a lot of, emotions and superficial things. You have to be have looked at a person sufficiently enough, maybe not in a setting of romance, to decide that this person has the values, the character, and the logic to at least work with me long term. And so somebody was asking a question yesterday about how, oh, if you're in a place, a church where you don't really have, a lot of exposure to ladies. And I was thinking about that question today. Guess what? You don't need to have exposure to 1 million ladies for you to find your own spec. In fact, you can date the first person, cut the first person, and marry the first person that you meet and still have a beautiful relationship. You don't need to go and be shopping and talking to everybody. What you need to do is to know what you want, is to know the kind of person that you are, is to have an intentional mindset, and of course to build your emotional maturity and emotional health. Are we together? I hope I'm not nobody's confused. Nobody's confused. I really hope so. Okay. So the first thing that I want to tell you today is that you are not helpless. We have there's sort of an helplessness virus that comes around love. People have this sort of helpless mindset. How can I get somebody to choose me? How can I do this? Today's webinar is to empower you, to help you know that, you know what, you are in control. You can decide the kind of people you want. You are very capable of engineering the kind of love that you attract, and doing it very, very intentionally. You are not helpless. Love just does not happen. Are we hearing me? Love does not happen. It's not a thing that just, if posterity shines on you, you meet a good one. If posterity does not shine on you, of course, there are those things. But largely, we are very, 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 very responsible for the kind of people that we attract. And so if you are interested in attracting a person or a relationship that is very breakfast proof, that you're not wondering, oh, will this person give up today? Oh, will this relationship last tomorrow? You have to understand that you're not helpless. You are capable. You have the capacity to engineer the kind of love that you want. You don't want to be the person who is walking aimlessly into relationships. You don't want to be the person who is just, oh, you meet anybody and you, oh, the person is, oh, I think I like you, okay, let's try it out, and you're dating every other day, every other 2 days. That's really, really dangerous. You don't want to be that person who is walking aimlessly. If you're single, you are in the best time of your life. You need to be the person who is intentionally saying that this is my logic list. I'll talk more about our logic list, as we go on. This is my logic list. These are the things that I want in a partner, and these are the things that I would not talk to somebody if the person does not have it. You will not even catch feelings for somebody like that if this person does not have this logic list. Now, let me dive deep into the science of attraction. I was reading about attraction and I realized that there's a book by Patrick King that talks about how human beings attract each other. There's a book that he wrote, and he said in that book that, first of all, humans are attracted to people physically. And this is very subconscious, and it happens to every one of us. Even if you're a lady, when you notice another very beautiful lady, you want to subconsciously at least hold a conversation with her. This person is really beautiful. This person looks so good. This person looks gorgeous, right? We are inherently attracted to people who are physically attractive. And so this means that a lot of the times you have already been attracted to somebody based on their looks before you even think about their character or their emotional maturity and all that stuff. And so after that, that's the first point of call. So your brain is already attracted to people who are beautiful. After that part, there is the next stage is now social standing. So this is where we are not talking about, okay, is this person, how would being with this person make me look? So this is where we are talking about people, where we are not talking about our preferences. Oh, this person has to have such amount of money. Oh, this person has to have this. And it's not just about money, it's only also about how you feel when you are with the person. If you are proud to talk with the person, if you are proud to showcase this person to other people, and sometimes it's you being attracted to that person who is out there, a speaker, a pastor, because it makes you look a certain way. So that's the thing about social standing. So our brains will start it off with physically being physically attracted to somebody. Then after that, we are now thinking about social standing, and it's very subconscious. After that, we are now in the stage where we get emotionally attached to people, to this person. So it starts with what you can see physically, and this is really really stronger for guys. For women, it's a part of can we hear me? Are we still there? If you can hear me, please let me know so I can be sure that we are together. Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you. So our brain would pick somebody who is physically attractive, who looks good socially, compared to a person who is just maybe in there and just doing stuff, maybe not out there, depending if you're a guy or a girl. But this is the science of attraction. You would have already been attracted to somebody based on their physical looks, and then you'd have already decided that, oh, this person is a person that has charisma, oh, he's very confident. Those are the things that appeals to your brain on a normal day. It is after you have passed that stage that you are already smitten by this person, you are already attached to this person, that you will not say, oh my god, you see people, oh, they are in love. Why? Oh, this person is this, oh, he's smart, oh, he's this. That's what we are thinking about. Oh, he's very intelligent. I love our kind of conversations and stuff like that. At that point, you are not really deciding from logic. In fact, I saw something that was so funny. I saw something that was so funny. They said that the part of our brains that are responsible for judgment and decisions, and the part of our brains that are very responsible for logical thinking, they slow down activity when you are in love. And the parts that are responsible for pleasure, they are the parts that are working more. So that explains the butterflies that we all feel when we are in love. But the truth is that these things almost always gets us into trouble. I do we like am I correct? It almost always gets people into trouble because you would have gone in like one, you'd have already built a castle in your head, you have married this person before you now start to realize certain characters, which is the last stage, logic, where that's when you're not thinking about, oh, values to this person. And that's how you see people that, oh, they are Christians, they are with a Muslim, they say, oh, but he's very good to me, oh, but he has money, can take care of me. Do we understand? And honestly, the more pressure you feel, the faster you move through these stages. You tick the physical attraction box, tick the social standing box, and also you're also thinking at this point, can this person is this person capable of providing? Especially if you're a lady, is this person going to be able to provide? As a guy, you're thinking, oh, is she someone that, oh, maybe Guys are very drawn to youth and all those things according to science, and they are thinking that, okay, can this person provide, can this person protect, can this person like keep a home. You've thought about everything, and you've gotten to the emotional stage where you're not very attached before you now get to the logic stage. That's where you now realize that, oh, this person's like, our values don't really align, no. This person's character get as a bill. At this time, more you have already gone in, you're already gisting with the person every night, and that's why people will now start to minimize certain things that other people that are not in a relationship with, that what's wrong with you? Are you not seeing this? Not, and we have these issues day in, day out, that people experience each of these things. And so it is really important, if you want to break fast proof your life, that you start with logic. This is our we are going to this is how we hack the system. You start with logic. You are not here to just get the butterflies. You create a logic list long before you even meet people. This is why I believe that the best time to ensure your romantic relationship life is long before you start catching feelings. Create a logic list. Create a logic list. Have a logic list. Write it down. And when I mean a logic list, I don't mean your own logic list, because that's the question I was going to ask. Many of us, our logic list is or our spec, as we call it, is a list of things that are very, very unrealistic. Very unrealistic expectations that we'll write down and we'll say, oh, this is what we want in a future partner. What is influencing your logic list? And I'm going to give you a guideline. So please take a pen and a paper. Values, values, super important. Goals. What is your goal for your own life? Whether you're a guy or you're a lady, you need this. Your values, one, your goals, two. Number three, character, super, super important. This is because when you have this front center of your mind, before you decide to chewing gum somebody and now be in love, you will think about it. You will think. Character. What kind of is this person reliable? Is this a solid person? Can I entrust my life into this person's hands? 10 years from now, will I be happy if I marry this kind of person? Is this person consistent? We need to pay attention to these things. Consistent, because this is how you know a person who is reasonable. Because romantic relationships is not just about our feelings. I know that sometimes the feelings can get ahead of you, but when it comes to making a decision, you have to decide with your two eyes open and your head thinking. So create your logic list long before. What are the value system of a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Write it down. What kind of goals do you have for yourself, and what kind of goals do you expect this person to have for their self? You can even break down the goals into spiritual, you can break it into financial. Do you understand? Just the metric you need to take from this is that be as realistic as possible. Don't build castles in the air. And also, these things should be things that are already in yourself. Oh, if they are not in you, my dear sister or my dear brother, start with yourself. Rearrange your own values, rearrange your goals, rearrange your character. Do it first before you, because the truth is that it's what you are that you attract. It's really that simple. So work on this your logic list. Do it long before you have any reason to be feeling butterflies, because butterflies will come. But if you don't have a plan, you will be moving without thinking. Remember that I told you that science has already told us that the part of your brain that is responsible for thinking and behaving well, it reduces for judgment, and for logic. Slows down. It's not as if it stops working, but it slows down activity. Those people wey say they know the advice person wey dey in love. We have heard it before. Shebi we have heard it now. I'm not the only one that know it. They say, they know the advice person wey dey in love. The person will come tomorrow. That thing that you have advised the person will still do it. You allow them to do their experience by themselves, abi. Yes. So how you can hack that system is having your logic list long before and getting accountability, especially when you notice that you are in a tight spot, when you now start catching feelings. And carry that your logic list and give it to somebody that you are very accountable to. It can be a mentor, it can be, and say, oh, please help me, help me see. It's like I'm catching feelings for this person. This person is not a Christian. Oh, and me, I plan to be a mommy Gio. And I'm already liking somebody that's not a Christian. So have your logic list, have it ready at hand. Then after if somebody now comes and the person ticks your logic list, we can now have a conversation, because your brain has already done the first few things, right? After you've ticked your logic list, you can now bring the person closer and pay attention. Emotional maturity. Okay, emotions should be next. And at this point in time, this one is important. If you have not listened to me before, please listen. Oh, listen. This one is very important. Look at the persons. What is the person's sense of self-worth? How do they see themselves? Do they think that they themselves they are something, or are they do they have an inflated perception of themselves, or are they very do they have feelings of inferiority? If you are a person that fall in love with somebody that have a problem with their self-worth, you will suffer. Oh, don't say I did not tell you. You will suffer. Are you hearing me? If you can hear me, please comment. So I have 10 people. At least let me see the comment. If you mistakenly fall in love with somebody that does not have good self-worth, the person will be using you to compare their self. You have you seen those couple that will say, ha, they are competing. They'll not be saying that this man does not want his wife to work, doesn't want her to be bigger than him. That person, that's how you should catch men that have self-worth issues. People that are very proud people. Borrow your slippers. Even if it's a girl and you're a guy, a very proud person, carry your slippers, put it on your head and be running because that person will make your life miserable, very miserable. The person's self-worth must be intact. Even if you are the most successful person, the person should be the one that is cheering you on, being proud of you, telling everybody that, have you seen my babe? Have you seen what she did? Oh, if you do so on, not the one that's competing with you and trying to say, oh, this one is what you we hear those things and you just be so sad for the person. A very, very accomplished person, but they just carried a partner that hates them and put the person in the house. That partner did not start out being wicked. That partner started out as somebody that has the inferiority complex or superiority complex, and they were not intentional about dealing with it. I'm going to give you another trick. The worst person to date. Are we hearing? This one we should frame it somewhere. Admin, please let's write this somewhere so that we can, create as a memorial of breakfast of life. The things that we'll forever remember. One of the things that you will use to know that this person will make your life miserable, this person has no sense of self-awareness. A person that will do something and you'll be telling them, oh, you did this thing. They can't take accountability. They can't say, oh my God, I'm really sorry. And they'll go and reflect on it and think. The people that will be arguing that, no, that's not what I said. No, that's not how I meant it. No, you are the one that is wrong. People that cannot take accountability, people that has no sense of self-awareness, people that cannot come and say, oh, I was really thinking about this thing and I think I need to work on this aspect of my character by themselves. Or when you point it out, they say, oh, I think you are right, I need to work on that. People that have no sense of accountability and they don't have any sense of self-awareness, borrow your sleepers because they will gaslight you. In fact, see, you will be very miserable. You will be very miserable. And these things, you find them out in conversations long before you get too emotionally invested. Even if you're already emotionally invested, be sure finding it out and be writing down your writings and carry it. That's why we are creating community for people like you, so that you can have community to get support where people can talk sense into your head. If you allow yourself to fall in love in isolation, you are on your own. Get your friends, your spiritual authority. If maybe it's too serious, spiritual authority long, okay, start with your friends. Accountability with your friends. Maybe you want to say, okay, I want it to be very official before I start telling. At least your friends, you be accountable and tell people that, oh, this is it, oh, this is it, oh, this is it, oh. Do we understand? So people who has no sense of self-awareness and can't take accountability for their actions. When you just see those people that you know them now, those people that used to always argue. If you are them, please start changing because you are the people that we are warning your people against. If you are them, please change. You are the one we are warning people against. But if you are not them, if you see such people, that you can tell them that, oh, they did wrong and they are arguing with you, say, especially when it really, really hurts you, they don't even just borrow your slippers. If you minimize it, because one of the things that you would need to understand about relationship is that they expose parts of ourselves that we are not comfortable with. A relationship that we work, we have to be able to take accountability and say, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't know that hurts you. I don't know that thing I said. Not the one that say you are the one that's thinking about it in that way. That's not what I meant. And you are arguing. The problem you will not solve. Argument will not end. That's how you will be doing in that relationship. So please, you borrow your slippers and run. First thing I've talked about is self-worth. We are still talking about emotional health though. We are in emotional health. Emotional health is the second part of this our pyramid. I wish I could have shown it to you, but we cannot do our slides. So after we have measure that, okay, this person has an okay sense of self-worth. He or she takes accountability for their actions, and they have self-awareness. They can say, I need to work on this thing in this year. This is what I want to change about myself. I want to, rewire my mindset. Those are the kind of people that you should be aiming to be. That kind of person, and you will attract that kind of person. Okay. So, another thing that you need to pay attention to is vulnerability. Is this person able to be vulnerable? Can this person talk, create space for you to be vulnerable? Is this person a person that can allow you to share your heart, and they are not shutting you down, minimizing your feelings, or making you feel ashamed of who you are? Are we together? Is this are we here? I hope we are here. Is vulnerability a thing for this person? Or this person is a person that is totally avoiding vulnerability? They, they don't want to share certain aspects of their, or they are covering up things, and they also, or people who shame you for being vulnerable. You need to watch it with those kind of people. Granted that vulnerability is a thing that comes in later, but you can test it. Let me tell you how you test the person can be vulnerable. Ask the person certain things, or find out things about them that require them to own up to a mistake they made in the past. Are we together? You want to see, can they own up to something? It takes vulnerability to own up and say, yes, I made this mistake, or I did something, and they are not trying to, either lie about it, cover it up, or just minimize it. It takes vulnerability. That's one way. And also, it comes from conversations. So you must know that when you are trying to, talk to somebody, conversations are important. It's not feelings. It's not feelings. It's not physical attractions. It's conversations. This is how you know people. Talk to them. Talk to them. Talk to them. Bring up case studies. Bring them one movie. Let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about that thing. These things are very important. They will really help you build study relationships before, even people will be looking at you and say, this people relationship is very sweet. Oh. Number three thing about emotional maturity: boundaries. Does this person know how to respect boundaries? If you're a Christian, this is one of the biggest things that will help you know from the get-go if a person is like reasonable for you. And the one of the ways you can know about boundaries is listen to things like, sexual purity boundaries. you know it's not even just that thing. Is like a killing two birds with a stone, because it tell you, one, if this person is a real Christian, that's a thing. Two, it will also tell you if this person has the capacity to respect boundaries. People who respect boundaries don't need to be told twice that I don't want to do this. Do you understand? It's not, and I'm not even talking about just doing things that are wrong. Oh. It can be, and as little as, it can be as little as, I don't take calls past 9 p.m. You are in something that you guys are not official, and as a single person you don't take calls past this time. A person who respects boundaries will not call you by 10 and be trying to test whether you will agree, or trying to convince you and tell you that why now, and this one. That's how you know that you are with a person that don't. Because tomorrow it will do worse than that. You tell them, I don't visit, they'll come and visit you and say, bring food now. You serve. You are doing too much. And the truth is that boundaries is not just sexual. Boundaries can be physical. It can be physical. Oh, you're not really comfortable with certain things. Maybe the space, or maybe certain things about holding hands, whatever. And you're like, I don't think I am comfortable with this. A person that does not respect boundaries will do the things and be trying to convince you that you are not right for having those boundaries. Have you ever met people like that? That's one thing you need to pay attention to. And it is, your antenna should be very high when you are in that phase, because it is what will help you know how that person will treat you in the future. Because boundaries don't end at maybe sexual purity or when we get married. No, they don't end there. Boundaries continue, because there are various ways that boundaries play out. Boundaries play out in how a person treats you, in how a person respects you, in how a person allows you to be yourself, in how a person shows you honor, whether you're there or you are not there. You understand? You set a boundary in a particular area and say, I don't really appreciate you doing this thing and this thing in marriage. And familiarity will make some people do, I beg you, what is that? And they would ignore you. But a person who really respects you will respect your boundaries and say, oh, this thing hurts this person. This thing I do or I say hurts this person and I will not do it. And so how you can pick out those things is in the early phases. Watch how they respond. Do they try to talk you out of your boundaries? Try to preach at you and tell you 5 reasons why you're overthinking things. Carry your slippers and run, because you will end up in a place that you don't want. One of the worst things that can happen to anybody is being stuck with a person who does not really, really respect them, a person who does not think you are a big deal. Let me give you an example. Think about people that you really respect. When you go and talk to them or when you go to meet them, you're very cautious. You are cautious of their time, cautious of their convenience, cautious about a lot of things. You want to ensure that you are keeping a good impression. And maybe sometimes not even for the good impression. You just really, really hold them in high regard, such that you don't want to inconvenience them in any way. If they say, oh my God, I have to catch a flight by 10. Oh, by 9:45, you are rounding up everything that you need to do so that you are not the one that is entering into their space. Those of us that work with maybe men of God or people who are popular figures, we understand this thing. Many people, that is the kind of relationship you want to have with your spouse. But you know one thing, see finish would try to erode it. It's a person that respects you enough to respect your boundary that will be able to build that kind of relationship with you, even if you people are close. These things are not high standards, they are basic things. If you want to break fast proof your life, you need to start thinking in these parameters. It's not magic, it's sense. It's sense that many people don't have. Many people don't have it, they are not interested in learning it, and they are wondering why they are having issues. That's boundaries. Number three, we've talked about vulnerability. Please, can you tell me the things we've talked about under emotional health? Self worth was the first thing, vulnerability was the second thing, boundaries was there, right? The next thing is communication. How does this person communicate? Are they the people that they are not open to communication? Something is wrong, they are not interested in talking about it, or they are deflecting, or there's always argument. Every time there's problem, there's headache. you, can you sit with this person and have a cordial conversation even though the both of you are not happy? Does this person respect you enough to hold conversations with you? And how you can know this is find out how the person does it with other people. Because of course you are the one the person is trying to fall in love with. Of course they'll tolerate you because this is the initial phase, remember. So find out how this thing works with other people in their life. And you have to just ask, gist. This person, maybe they are best friend. Oh, do they quarrel with people? Are they quarrelsome people? Are they people that know how to have conversations, mature conversations? And when I mean mature conversations, they are not happy, but they can sit and talk. They are not shouting, they are not blowing out of proportion. They are not too emotional to sit and have a reasonable conversation. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. If you are with somebody that don't know how to communicate, problem, you are in for problem. Okay, so these are the important things that you should tick on emotional maturity as a person who wants to break fast proof your life. Have conversations that help you sort these things out. After we have ticked our logic, after we remember we started with our logic list, then we now did our emotional maturity. Then we can now start thinking about things around, safe social standing, or how the person looks, the person's capacity to provide, and everything. The truth is that if you have a person who ticks all of these things, there's a high chance that the person will also tick your social standing list. The person will also be someone who is responsible, because responsible people would have gotten all these things right. Or even if they've not gotten it right, they are open to change. That's another thing that is super important. Because the person has ticked the logic list, values align, goals align, all these things, they've ticked your emotional maturity list. When you are not coming to this social standing, maybe they are not so buoyant financially or whatnot, you can have conversations around it because they are open to conversations. You can bring your preferences because they are reasonable. You can sort those things out. And the final thing, which is the icing on the cake, is now the physical attraction. The truth is that physical attraction is only as important as the person inside. If a person is very beautiful but makes your life miserable, trust me, you will find that person unattractive. Just take it from me. You can go and try it out. Have you ever met a very beautiful lady who had no manners? Or a very handsome guy who was very, very bossy and annoying? That physical attraction dies the day that you know their real character. So you don't want that to be the metric that you use to attract people. How do they say it? The earlier you know these things, the better for you. Okay, so these are the This is our breakfast proof attraction compass. And if you pay attention to these things, you would be definitely able to attract relationships that make you so happy. Are we together, guys? Now we have talked about this method. Let's pieces those case studies that we talked about earlier. And let me show you guys where those people went wrong and how you can prevent that kind of thing from happening to you. So let's start with the first lady. The first lady was in a bad place and she was very vulnerable. One of the things that you need to pay attention to is that love is not the feelings. Love is not the feelings. Love is commitment, okay? The feelings are what they are, feelings. So this lady was in a vulnerable space and she found a guy who really, really was showing up for her, supporting her. And chances are that guy really loves her. He really does love her. But maybe he was coming across as too agreeable and like a simp, probably because of where he's coming from, background, and whatnot. Okay, guys? So, what that lady should typically ideally have done, even though it may not be very, very easy for her, is decide with logic and say, oh, this guy, he does he have characters that I find truly attractive in a man? Okay. And even if he did not, can I talk about this? Is he emotionally mature enough to handle the conversations? And I'll tell him, oh, I think you should work on this, you tweak this. Is he open to conversations? At that point, she's not so emotionally consumed, or maybe haven't made a commitment. Oh my god, I love you. And you've told somebody that you already love the person, and later you come to tell me that, oh, you don't find the person attractive. That's why the person will be really shattered. And that's an unfair thing to do to someone. Okay. Honestly, in my opinion, if that lady came to me before she ended that relationship, I would tell her that you are finding this guy unattractive because he's not stepping into his masculine energy. A guy should lead a relationship, not be agreeable to a lady, right? And while that thing can look like a very delicate balance, many ladies do not even realize that they find it attractive when a guy is in charge and is in control. So what do? You have a conversation, you talk about it. Oh, I noticed this, and I don't think it makes me I don't think it's like, makes me feel a certain way. Could you tweak this, and you watch. Is this person open to changing? Is this person trying to make effort? A person who loves you would pay attention to the things that matters to you. Okay, so ideally what she should have done is checked those things first before but because she was in a bad place, she got attached. It has happened. Could she have done? She would have tried to have a conversation about it. Now the problem is when you are trying to have a conversation with a person who is not willing to see their fault. Remember, we talked about this earlier. And the truth is that sometimes we are the ones not even. So that's why next month we are going to be talking about communication. We will need to break down communication techniques. Many people don't know how to have conversations in romantic relationships. So that's another topic for another day. And trust me, next month we'll have that webinar. So please keep that in mind. It depends on how you present it, but at that point, you talk about it. So when you now and you will watch. Is this person amenable to change? Is he paying attention? Is he interested in changing? Does he see that that's a problem? Is he open to growth? Those are the parameters that you should have ticked in logic list that I did not tick earlier, but you can now salvage it at this point instead of just saying, oh, I don't feel attracted to him, and you walk out. Especially if you know that this person is a really good person. Many people just are not as informed as they are. And so this means that if you do your homework right and you tick your logic list, you tick your emotional maturity list, a lot of things that make people just walk out of relationship will be solved. One, you'll be attracting reasonable people who are willing to put in the work. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. You attract reasonable people who are willing to put in the work, and you would now be able to have conversations around things and sort them out very easily. So the second case study talked about this couple. Just in case anybody was not here, let me read that case study because I think it was a very interesting one. Do happily married husbands cheat? Are we here? We have been very quiet. Is it that we are thinking deeply or what's going on? We have been very quiet. Okay. So now let me read this, then we'll answer this, and then we'll close out for today. Do happily married husbands cheat? This person replies and says, as a matter of fact, yes, they do. I knew one personally. He had an arranged marriage a few years back and was in love with his wife so much that we girls used to dream of having a man like him as our husband. The wife adored him too. But slowly, the marriage started drifting apart and they planned a child to make things better. And as she was pregnant, well, he cheated. He fell in love with another woman, but she turned him down after a few days because she felt guilty. And they are still together, living a happy life along with their child. So a happy marriage is not always happy as it seems. It's not always as happy as it seems. And people cheat regardless of the love they receive in their relationship. So this person brought a wrong ideology and generalized with one person's situation. That's totally wrong. A happy marriage can be as happy as it seems, and you can be the happy marriage that is as happy as it seems. So now, what should these people have done differently? When you pay attention to the mistakes that people make, you better know how to pick your lessons and re-engineer yourself so you don't attract certain people. So the first thing that we should know is that when you pick a person who has good values and good character, you would have less things to worry about, and a person who is consistent, like I said. So pay attention, open your eyes. This is for the guys and for the ladies. Patterns don't lie. A person who cheats has a tendency to cheat. Maybe the person did not show that tendency on the level of sexuality before now, but this was an arranged marriage, so they would have not known. But you, as a person who wants to pay attention to it, look at the person that you are. You're trying to know. When a person is capable of cheating, the person is a person who already has little to no value system in every other areas of their life. Can we hear me? Little to no value system and discipline. Those are the things that. So it's not something about happy marriage. Find the person you're talking about and look out for discipline. In other areas of life, can we hear this? I'm not saying in love, oh, live love. In other areas of life, can this person pick something and stick to it against all odds? Because that's what marriage is about. Is that person inherently disciplined? Do they hold themselves to a high value standard? Those are the things you are paying attention to. Scrap out love from it, because the person can be at this stage a church person that does not have any tendency to cheat. But 20, 30 years down the line, a person's value system, they hardly change, except the person was a sinner and became a Christian. That's kind of radical thing that can change a person's value system. So pay attention to discipline, pay attention to values. That's why you are best, you are safer going for a person who is very, 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 very moral about their lives. Okay. When you marry a person who is very liberal, just be ready to come to go with whatever goes. You understand? So it's something to pay at. If you're not very sure, ask questions, bring hypothetical situations, say, oh babe, let's talk about this, or whoever, maybe the person not your babe at the time. Give gist and listen. Are they disciplined? Do they have things in their life that form the core of who they are? And are they willing to stick to it regardless? They now find their own perspective around these things. It will help you know. So that's the first thing. The second thing was that they had an arranged marriage. And a core principle of arranged marriage is that there's little to know getting to know each other or emotional connection before the marriage. What they should have done, which will not be our case, Sha. But in case you find yourself in a place where you need to get that emotional connection, and this is how you do it, like I said, you explore conversations around self-worth. You ensure you build vulnerability. This is how you make your relationship emotionally intimate. It's emotional intimacy that will preserve people from all these kind of things. That somebody else will now come in, build your own emotional intimacy in your relationship, and you learn this through vulnerability. That's what builds emotional intimacy. Okay. And communication, which we are going to talk about next month. Communication, vulnerability, and having consistent times where you just have those vulnerable conversations that gets you into your head that this is your person. If you are with a person, or if you are trying to talk to somebody that is not ready to, do this with you, you're in a danger zone. Okay. Vulnerability, very, very powerful. When a guy is vulnerable with you, really vulnerable with you, that person is already connected to you. And in fact, if you're a young person, you're not yet married and everything, it's something that you should even do with caution, because it can really, really get sexual. But vulnerability is powerful, especially for married people. Very powerful. People don't realize that that's what really binds people in relationships. When you can hide yourself away from the other person, there's really nothing that connects you to the person. And so the person can just work and do whatever they want to do. And so that's what these people got wrong. And so it's not about the fact that happy marriages, how people generalize these things, it's just annoying. Happy marriages are not as happy as it seems. What did they do wrong? They had an arranged marriage. And this person was saying that the marriage started drifting apart. So in the beginning, of course, there was feelings involved. Of course, there was sex involved, and those things are only temporary. And those things are not enough to bind that relationship if they don't do the hard work of consistent communication, consistent vulnerability after they've ticked out the first boxes. Do we understand what I'm doing? Are we getting this gist? So these are the things that really helps you break fast proof your life. If you're talking to somebody, you're interested in the person, you are stick to your logic list, take time to build emotional intimacy. You have checked that this person is mature enough, fire on with your emotional intimacy. That's what you need. Many people are out there doing things that are not even healthy, having sex and doing nonsense. They've not built emotional intimacy, and they think that that's why you say you are always complaining. Oh, guys did this. Oh, guys did that. Oh, guys did that. They don't feel connected to you emotionally. Why not? I'm sure we've constantly heard the whole sex is not enough to give a man. Some people think, oh, when they get pregnant, they tie the person down. This person cheated on his wife while she was pregnant. You can imagine. So really, it comes down to a person character. Really, character values. Like I've already given you guys the tip. But then emotional intimacy is what this post said, because this person said that they slowly started drifting apart, and they now planned a child to make things better. How do you plan a child to make things better? A child will even distract you. Ah, do we know this now? Children will even distract you from your own. Many people will even stay together and say, oh, they want to like build, them they are be alone with their wife and don't want children at time. These people, they plan the child to make things better. You are drifting apart. It's a child that they plan to make. You can see that they were so clueless. And I really, really know that with what we've learned, that will not be any one of us, right? So it's not a child that will make things better. Let's remove that mindset. It's emotional intimacy that is the bond, the lifeblood of any relationship. And what did I say determines the metric? Vulnerability. How vulnerable can you get this person to be with you? It's not manipulation. It's you looking out for your relationship. If you take yourself on a vulnerability journey, you open up and you ensure that this person is open up, you are building a bond that will be hard to break. Do we understand that? So those are the red flags that we can pick from this, and we can pay attention to it to break fast proof our lives. I think we had a few questions, and I think we want to take questions now. I've really touched on everything that I planned to touch on today. We had a few questions earlier, and let's touch on those questions and close out. It's 9 p.m. already. If you have questions, please share them. If you have questions, please share them. Please share them. Please share them. Things like vulnerability. Can't the person grow in a relationship when they don't have it? The truth is that um if you pay attention to if you get a person who is willing to grow, and I think this should be in your logic list. I talked about values, I talked about goals, I talked about character, growth. A person that is open to growth will save you a lot of stress. Are we together? That person will save you a lot of stress. A person who is willing to grow can learn how to be more vulnerable. But a person who is very defensive and does not see that, oh, this is a thing and we can work on it, the person will give you issues. So if you get a person that's willing to grow, you are good to go, because the person can learn anything. So you have to have a mindset that growth is possible, starting with yourself. And then you need to learn it to be able to, show that, oh, this is something I think we should work on. Okay. So yes, vulnerability can grow if the person is open to growth. Please don't stay in a place where a person is not willing to change. You will give yourself headache. Head what? Headache. Thank you. So the next question. Um, that time boundaries, is it actually realistic for boys, and can they learn it? When you mean time boundaries, what does that mean? If you're talking about boundaries itself, everybody can learn anything. In fact, one way you measure if a person is really, really intentional is how willing they are to work on things with you. The person who is not interested on working on things, allow the person to go. The earlier the better for you. The earlier the better for you. Okay. If you're talking about time boundaries in the sense of 9 p.m., that was just an analogy. Okay. Do we have any questions? Any other questions? Any other question? So what happens after one has actually built the emotional connection, after every boss in the logic list has been ticked, and then there's unfortunately a breakup, how does one bounce back from that? I want to find out what caused the breakup, because the truth is that A lot of times there is a breakdown. There's a reason why something happens. Okay, there's a reason why something happens. Of course, we can go into the conversation of, oh, yes, you can bounce back from anything. But when you pay attention to the reasons, you can now know that, oh, this is that. These are the these are the tiny spots where things were not exactly clear, and this is what I can do different. And when it comes to bouncing back from that, one of the things, the powerful ways that you would pay attention to is to understand that you as a person, you are the, I don't know how to explain it, like you need to look at yourself and see yourself, the love you have for yourself bigger than the loss of that person, of that relationship. Not that the person is bad, not that the person is not, good, but you really have a sense of self-worth and love that sees that, oh, your life's journey did not end because the relationship ended. Okay, your life's journey is still beautiful, it's still amazing, and you should begin to intentionally invest in a life that you would be so um proud, is what is coming to my mind, but I don't mean it in a bad way. Okay, a life that you can put on display, and everybody wants that kind of life. And the truth is that if you're not yet confident in that version of yourself, it will show. Of course, healing is a process, so you first of all sit down, see the issues. I personally don't believe that you will tick all the boxes and there's an unfortunate reason why a breakup happens. There's almost always a reason. Okay. Something was not ticked, something was not done, a person was not maybe straightforward enough, something we did not pick on time, those kind of things. It can happen. And it's not even a blame thing, right? It's not even a thing to blame yourself. It's not a thing to feel, like just, oh, you should have done this better and all that. When something ends and you have decided that this is was I made a good decision, or whatever happens, we are walking away from that. You now sit with yourself, lay everything out, find the holes. This should have been done better. This should have done better. You pick it as lessons, and you now begin your process of healing. And so when you're coming to healing, healing really is about you looking inwards and building a life with yourself that you are that I don't want to say be too absorbed in yourself, but that's what I'm trying to talk about. Okay. So immerse yourself in a kind of self love that makes you super attractive, not from a place of rushing to the next relationship, but just feeling content and confident in yourself. I have something on my slide I would have shown. Invest in your finances, invest in your emotional health and maturity, invest in your growth, do big things, not to run away from yourself, but to show yourself that, oh, this thing ended, because relationships are our primary source of happiness and companionship, right? As people. So when you build that kind of connection, there will be sort of a void, and it is hurtful. Nothing would, we are not minimizing that it's going to be hurtful, right? But you have to be intentional about building yourself and looking at yourself with that perspective. Shift your perspective. How do you see yourself? Are you looking at yourself and saying that, oh, without this person there's a lot of things that are no longer here? Before that person, you were an amazing individual. So you turn that love inwards and build from there, paying attention to the things that were not right and what you can do as you move forward. I hope I answered your question, Dr. Gloria. Right? I hope I did. Okay. A long distance situation that couldn't be reconciled, and one party was ready to get married and the other wasn't, and was trying to get their life sorted. This is really a compatibility issue. This is really a compatibility issue. And the truth of the matter is that something like this, when you sit with it, is actually a life goal mismatch. Ehen. But especially when it comes, like, it's a relationship, so it's an our logic list too. If you notice, it's not, if you pay attention, this is now logic list. There's a life goal mismatch there. But maybe this relationship started at a time when a lot of things were not yet sorted out. So that's really the truth for some of us. Maybe you've not really thought about the whole distance, movement, stuff like that at the time. And so we have gotten to this point. You now see that, oh, there's a life goal mismatch. So what do? We move on, we pick the lessons, we cry when we need to cry, and we invest in ourselves so much that there's another thing that I don't think we can talk about with the context here. When I mean, I probably do a different video on how we can sort this out. But we invest in ourselves in a way that pulls shows in our confidence, right? And not from a place of desperation, but from a place of attraction, healthy attraction. We open up ourselves to love when the time is right. But the most important thing is that we don't stick to the past. When we have decided that something cannot work, we move on from it and get the accountability, the love, the support, and then we try and make what we can of our life. It's hurtful and it can be devastating, but it's something that we can definitely bounce back from. I hope this answers the question. I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope it does. So this person says, can you enter a relationship when the person is not as spiritual as you? Secondly, I'm a tall girl, but sometimes I have feelings for a short guy, and my usual spec is tall guys. Who can help me answer this person's question? So for the spirituality, we are going to keep that. Who can help me answer this question? I'm a tall girl and I have feelings for a short guy. Can somebody help me? Somebody that be listening from day one. Somebody that be listening from into one. Help me answer covered in light. Let's drag her a little or him a little. Okay, it's a girl, she's a girl, and I said she's a tall girl. Let's drag her a little. Nobody wants to join me to drag her. Especially people are not nice. So eh? Nobody. Nobody can answer this question. She said she's a tall girl and she has feelings for a short guy. And her spec is tall guys. Who can help me answer? You guys should not fall by hand. I've been teaching people for the past 1 hour. And guys, while I'm waiting for our answers, let me read the next question because we'll have to come back to that. This person says that, how can I handle the situation? No, not to drag. We need to remember that we have our attraction compass. Our attraction compass says that there is an order that you use to tick the boxes if the person is right for you or not. That's what I love about frameworks. Frameworks, we can always put your situation into it. Like what we did for the first question. We saw that, oh, it's a logic mismatch. So the thing has happened and you are hurt, but you at least know where the loophole is to move forward. And guys, if you don't know, blessed I will do. And if you are just need to honestly refine, that's how we work. Because I have learned that when we just take advices off the top of our head, use our neighbors, uncles, friends, aunties, and life story to advise somebody else, you are going to be causing problem because everybody's context is different. But when you get a framework, you can plug in your experience into that framework and know what is wrong. That's what we have. So we have an attraction framework at Wholeness Redefined. And we have said that to attract a person, we start where? With our logic list. So if you are saying that there's a guy, there's somebody, I'm really not happy if nobody can help me answer that question. So I will stop there. I'm waiting for answers. People should answer me before I continue. Yes. Thank you, Joy. You start with logic, emotional maturity. See, let me tell you something. Covered in light. What's your name? What's your name? Come and tell me your name. Let me know your name. See, can you trust me on something? Start with your logic list. Just create your logic list and bring it to the group and say, guys, so based on what we learned, in fact, please do it so people that not come, they will know that they missed. Based on what we learned, I have created my logic list. Can we do that for me? Can we do that? Let's do that if you were here. I've created my logic list too. Our community is open, and the goal of this is to create a community where we can keep ourselves accountable and we can have people, and that's really the goal. I can have people even meet ourselves in the community, and I'm sure that we are informed enough to build reasonable relationships. I'm not afraid that, hey, hope this one not gonna break our hearts. So they'll say, oh, it's honest to define that they met each other. Oh. No, that's the goal of this community. Create your logic list, create your emotional maturity checklist. And that short guy that you are complaining of that is short, go first. Tick logic. He has ticked everything. Tick emotional maturity. It's you that come and tell me that, I really, really used to think that I don't want to marry short guys. But now I have seen that it's not about the height. Should we bet? If the person does not tick those things, we can leave that. But you by yourself, you will fall in love when a person ticks your emotional maturity and your emotional intimacy list. You will fall in love. I say it's me that I'm telling you, you will fall in love. I don't want to, but I'm telling you, just trust me. Trust me, trust me. Just try it out. Get your logic list, emotional maturity, have it all ticked out, and then you meet a person who ticks those boxes. I don't see people marrying short guys, get and short. You think that they are blind? You think they too, they don't like tall guys? They've seen something that they that is make that makes sense. You know, this guy, he can take care of my family. He can lead this family well. He's an amazing lover. He will make a great partner. He will make a good husband. He will make a good father. Oh, you think they too they like short guys and they are tall ladies? Let me not give you bombastic side eye. Do you understand? Yes. So now let's answer Grace's question. Grace says that how can I handle a situation where my emotions are trampled upon when something goes wrong while you are open to learn? Now, what are you talking about? Are you talking about a real relationship or you are talking about answer me? Oh, I'm waiting for your comment, so we'll move on. Are you talking about a real relationship or you are talking about person we just they around you? Answer, Grace. I'm waiting for your answer. I think we have dealt with all the questions. So the rest of us we don't have questions. We are all good, right? So we'll be sharing a feedback form tomorrow on the group. If you are here, the 11 people that are here, in fact, I'll share that form today. Please ensure you go and fill the form and tell us how these 2 days has blessed your life. If I have 11 people here, and yesterday we had about roughly the same number, I'd expect to have 11 responses. Please don't ghost us. We do not charge you one couple for this information. Many people, this thing will save you from months of wasted time, morning breakfast. So the least you can do to be grateful is to share how this helped you. Are we together, guys? Just it does not take how many minutes. Share it on the Google form so that we can have more people know that we are doing amazing work and they can start, coming with us. Okay. Another thing I want to say is that we have a lot of questions from those who fill the forms, and we could not attend to all the questions during this program. However, in the coming days, we'll be answering those questions in YouTube content and sharing on the group. Ensure that so that you will see your questions. Please open the group chat, look at the videos, watch them, share them with your friends. And we are really, really building our community. So we need as much people to come and hear these amazing things that you are hearing. Okay? Yes. So, Grace, what have you said? Grace said this is a real relationship, but not romantic. Okay. Do you have plans for it to move to romantic? Do you have plans? Okay. Because I'm asking these questions because we need to know how serious a relationship is and the investment that you have created in it to know what to do. Because ideally, when you say this thing, I would tell you first things first, work on your own self worth. Because when you're asking me, how can you handle a situation? The fact that you don't know what to do immediately, it shows that we need to do some work on your own self worth. Okay, we need to do some work on your own self worth. That's the first thing. And I gave you a book yesterday that will help you. I gave you a book yesterday that will help you. So you should read that book, share your insights, and how you're it's helping you. And there are certain things, certain ways you need to see yourself. You need to start to perceive yourself on a different level because so that and people that meet you cannot treat you in certain ways. However, when you meet people that it's like they know they see. Some people they want to test you, want to know whether this girl really knows who she is. You set a boundary, right? Your emotions should not be trampled upon in any relationship. You communicate. You tell them, I want to have a conversation about this thing. Grace, are you here? I want to have a conversation about this thing. And the person says, what? And one thing you need to know, this is why you need to have yourself worth intact. Some people will try to gaslight you. Oh, that's not what I meant. Hey, that's what I said. You stand your ground. This is what you did, and this is how it made me feel. Simple. Don't be explaining, saying, "Oh, I'm very sorry if this is bothering you." Oh, this kind of things that make people feel like they can treat you anyhow. You don't do that. You tell them, "This is what you said, and this is how it made me feel." And you watch how they respond. If they are defensive, you know that this person is not good for you. Grace, are you hearing me? If they are defensive, they're trying to attack you, saying, "Hey, what do you mean?" You tell them that, yes, this is what you did, and this is how it made me feel. It makes me feel like I don't have a voice in this relationship. And you watch their responses. Then you now know how to make a decision. If that friendship, it should be the one that you give it space. Because it's not a relationship. Relationship will tell you, borrow your slippers and what? Run. But this is not a relationship. So what do? You give that person space. They're not good for your emotional health. You need your emotional health to be top notch because you want to attract a person similar. If you are used to situations where your emotions are being trampled upon, right, you would see that you will not be able to stand up for yourself in other relationships. You will be feeling like you're not uh, let me just read. It's not that small thing. No, talk about, let it be that you talk too much. The person that wants to love you will love you like that. I'm not saying you should be a problematic person. I'm not saying you should be dramatic, but have a conversation. Grace, I hope Grace is hearing me. Have a conversation about it and sort it out. Sort it out, okay? If that, let me know if that was helpful. When a person is indecisive about a relationship but still wants you to be in touch, how do one relate with such a person without the person feeling ignored? Please ignore the person. Let me take Mrs. Peace style. Ignore the person. The person needs to feel involved. It needs to feel ignored. Why should they not feel ignored? Eh? Are they wrong? Eh? That person deserves to feel ignored. Guys, am I wrong? Yes, the person. See, let me tell you one thing that we need to know. One of the things, this is how you run away from situationships. And situationships are one of the most hurtful things you can do to yourself because it shows that you don't really value yourself. Yes, if you stay in a situationship, you are telling me that you don't value yourself enough. You don't value yourself enough. Guys, are we together? Guys, are we together? Are we together? I hope we are here. Oh. Okay. The fact that you can stay in it, a person can come and talk to you. I'm not really sure if I love you, I want to choose you, but let's be in touch. The fact that you didn't make sense to you. I don't have problem with that person. It's you that I want to have a conversation with. Come, come, come. You don't rate yourself. That's what it means. You teach people how to treat you. There's way you show up. Anybody that's not ready should move. Do you know how many billions of people are on the earth? There are plenty. And don't even buy into that lie that oh, good guys are few, good women are few. It's a lie. It's a lie. Your magnet is not magneting. If you fix your magnet, you will magnetize the right people. That's what's on marble. Please, oh, admin, let's add that to the things that we are going to, you know. If you fix your magnet, you see you will start seeing them. I talked about that in my book. Everyone is a daddy. Hmm? Yes. If you're interested in that book, by the way, it's just one that you used to buy shawarma self. You buy it and you will really start to see yourself differently. Okay, so you are the problem. Okay, yes, we need to have a conversation. Why can somebody talk to you and the person is not interested? That person wants to waste your time, and I don't know how to explain it. The person does not treasure your heart, does not see your heart as a treasure, wants to keep you. And that's how you see people, because 5 years they're in situationships, they it's very, very annoying. That nothing annoys me like people like this. So you tell the person that, in fact, make person feel ignored. They are serious. They should come and tell you what they want. Not all these people that put one leg in, one leg out. Oh, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. This is wasting your time, and the person does not value your heart. And anybody does not value your heart, we give you breakfast. You will chop breakfast in that person's hand, and we are here to help you prevent breakfast. Hmm? So I hope I've answered this person's questions. Ronke, I hope I'm not too harsh, guys. Am I harsh? But I said the truth, right? So we need the truth. Anyway, guys, if we don't have any other questions, we'll be wrapping up today's session. Please come to the comments and come to the group chat, and just like we did yesterday's energy was very good. Let's tell people that oh, this was amazing. And when we share the link for feedback, please be a sweetheart and do this. Like I said, we'll have another webinar next month. And trust me, guys, people are not ready. We are not ready for what we have. Let me see if we have. Yes, we have the flyer here already. So next month we are going to be talking about the art of being known. I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to show you a roadmap. We talked about vulnerability. We talked about vulnerability, right? Yes. So vulnerability is something that we need to learn the how. I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down for you guys in a way that you'll be shocked. Just come. And please tell your friends. Maybe people have seen that we don't play in Honest with Define. I allow you, you could not really know us before now. So you probably were feeling shy to tell people. This one, you already know us. You have tested something. At least 10 people. In fact, tell everybody. Tell them that they should come. Right? People need to know these things. People need to understand these things. You need to come and see why is communication complex? Why does it feel complex? What's the mindset that you need to have and when you have this mindset, vulnerable conversation is now effective You are not attracting people that treat you anyhow. How can you choose partners that make vulnerable communication feel safe? Because that's the thing. Many people are scared that if they are vulnerable, people will take them for granted. I hear a lot of things, especially among guys. They say, oh, they share their vulnerability with a woman, and the woman, used it against them. You may have that fear. When you come next month, we'll talk about how you can prevent this from happening to you. Attract safe partners. Okay, so that is our webinar for next month. Yes, yes. So I want us to bring this energy next month. I want us to tell people about it. Okay. So we remain your humble people. Wholeness redefined. We are here to help you build amazing relationships. We are here to help you build relationships that makes your friends say, now only you day. We want to show you the skills that you need. This thing is not that deep. Guys, if we can follow through, it's not that deep, it's not that hard. We want to equip you with the skills that you need to sustain healthy relationships and have like a really beautiful life. You need to know our mission and our vision. You need to understand what we are about. We want to help you build a family that is very, very safe for the kind of children that you are going to have. We do coaching, we do webinars, and we have content coming up for you. We have YouTube content coming up. So please ensure that you are ready. When we post the videos, that may just be your question, especially if you have questions. So you go and look at the video, and then you will see that it may just be your question that we are answering, right? So we have coaching and we have webinars. We'll be pushing out a lot of YouTube content in the coming days. Please engage, share with your community, and we will be super grateful. If you are very, very open, we are also open to volunteers because we are going to plan a lot of events in this year. At least we'll be planning one webinar per month throughout 2026. So we need a lot of hands. We need people who are very good with community management, people who are good graphics designers to join our graphics design team. We need people who are good with social media. So if this is you, please come to the community, send me a DM, or just at least type that, oh, you're interested in volunteering, and we'll reach out to you. That being said, thank you so much for coming, guys. We have some winners today. Let's share winners. Let's talk about our winners. People who were very active today. So who is covered in light? I think this person won something yesterday. Let me be looking at her. Then there is Ugochi. Grace already won something yesterday, so Grace is not there. So who else was very active? Who else was very active? So Mamugochi, we have a package for you, and covered in light. Did you win something yesterday? If you did not, please reach out. We also have something for you. Then I think those are our winners for today. We had a very amazing time. You guys are the best audience that anyone would ever want to, talk with. I enjoyed the conversations. You guys brought the energy. We had amazing questions, and we are so, so grateful. With this, we come to the end of today's webinar. Breakfast Proof Your Life has just started. Remember that we had exercises. So do them this week and come to the community and tell us about it. There's no shame in it, okay? We'll cheer you on and we'll really support you and guide you on your journey. Pay attention to what the content that we have coming because you are about to be in for a ride. With that said, I want to say good night to every one of you. This was such an amazing time. Bye, and we'll see ourselves when tomorrow in the comments in the community and next month on our next webinar. Have a wonderful time, guys. Bye.